Welcome back to Rabbi's Reflection. I'm glad that you're taking some time today to reflect with us. We'll continue as we have over these last number of weeks with reading a story from Kitchen Table Wisdom, which is titled Just Listen. So let's enjoy either watching and reading the words from the screen or listening to my voice as I narrate, and then reflecting on the story together. Just listen. I suspect that the most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. Just listen. Perhaps the most important thing we ever give each other is our attention, and especially if it's given from the heart. When people are talking, there's no need to do anything but receive them. Just take them in. Listen to what they're saying. Care about it. Most times, caring about it is even more important than understanding it. Most of us don't value ourselves or our love enough to know this. It has taken me a long time to believe in the power of simply saying, "I'm so sorry," when someone is in pain, and meaning it. One of my patients told me that when she tried to tell her story, people often interrupted to tell her that they once had something just like that happen to them. Subtly, her pain became a story about themselves. Eventually, she stopped talking to most people. It was just too lonely. We connect through listening. When we interrupt what someone is saying to let them know that we understand, we move the focus of attention to ourselves. When we listen, they know we care. Many people with cancer talk about the relief of having someone just listen. I've even learned to respond to someone crying by just listening. In the old days, I used to reach for the tissues until I realized that passing a person a tissue may be just another way to shut them down, to take them out of their experience of sadness and grief. Now I just listen. When they have cried all they need to cry, they find me there with them. This simple thing has not been that easy to learn. It certainly went against everything I had been taught since I was very young. I thought people listened only because they were too timid to speak or did not know the answer. A loving silence often has far more power to heal and to connect than the most well-intentioned words. A beautiful story, a beautiful reflection from Dr. Remen on the power of listening. I believe that we all know this to be true. Some of us practice this frequently, and others might be aware of this. And when we think back to a specific moment, maybe a specific hard moment in our lives when someone was there for us. And perhaps one of the nuggets of why we felt that someone was there for us was because they just truly listened. They were present. They showed up. They entered into a moment in our lives and were simply present and just listened. I'm moved by her reflections in the way that Dr. Remen formulates the power of listening. She says, caring is more important than understanding. Caring is more important than understanding. So much of our lives is about trying to understand, trying to make sense of what is going on, so that we can kind of function in this world. But when it comes to listening and to being present with someone else, it's caring that's key. And so caring happens through listening, not necessarily through understanding, because if we truly get down to it, we can't understand. We might feel like we've had a similar situation happen to us, and she brings that up, right? We'll interrupt and say, what you're experiencing, I experienced too, so I know what you're going through. I understand. And that's already where you lose it, because it's not about understanding, it's about caring. Because we try to jump into those, because that's how we normally function in this world, and in our day-to-day interactions. But we simply are present. I love her example. This is something that I learned in my own pastoral care training, of the tissues. Right, we're with someone, they're crying, and our immediate instinct is, what can I do in this moment while this person is crying? Let me give them some tissues. And perhaps when you offer someone tissues, what you might be communicating to them is, please stop crying. Take these tissues, wipe up your tears, because I don't want to see that anymore. As opposed to just simply being with them, simply being present, and that being present is enough. If the person wants tissues at some point, then you'll get them tissues, but in the moment, just be with them. Loving silence can heal and can connect us. Again, our desire to want to provide understanding or healing often brings us to the need to do something. When what we're already doing by being present and listening, that is enough. So I wish you a week of listening, of being able to listen to others in ways that can really provide connection and healing between each other. Have a great day.